What's happening? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Greatest tight end in league history right here. The one and only Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, how you
What's
doing,
up, man?
Good.
Good to have you in New York.
It's good to be here. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Back now. I got the gig now. I'm flying back and forth. This is great.
What's this chapter of your life been like for you?
Post-career?
Yeah, post-career.
It's been great. It's, obviously been television. Worked at CBS for the first 3 years doing their pregame show, and then moved over to the Fox. It's great. It's just, you know what it is? It's getting out of your comfort zone. Obviously football was something that I did my whole life. And I did it pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But then then it's taken from you.
Right.
Like all athletes, it's like, okay, you can't do this anymore. And something you've been training for your whole life is now you got to go out there and do something new and start at the bottom again. So it's just those growing pains. Some highs and some lows are going to happen. It's part of the process, and it's just been fun though. It's kind of taught me more about who I am. Way more than football ever did.
So what have you learned about yourself?
Well, that's a good question, DJ. What have I learned about myself? I've learned that I was still afraid, honestly.
What were you afraid of?
I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of starting at the bottom again.
Yeah.
I was afraid that people weren't going to like me.
We all want to be liked.
People weren't going to think I was entertaining. I mean, because being in front of the camera, it's a performer now.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
It's not football anymore.
No.
It's like you have to go out there. Not say idiot. Anybody can go up there and say, okay, this is your cover 2 breakdown, and watch the zone split here.
Sure.
It's like, who gives a damn? Okay, we can go look on a computer and we can find all that
Absolutely.
stuff. It's like you have to present it in a way that's engaging and fun and happy and whatever you got to do. You can and to do that, you have to let go. Of everything. You have to stop being afraid of what people think. You have to stop worrying about. It's kind of like football.
Yeah.
It's like you can't play football thinking about what's going to happen, and you can't play football thinking about what happened before. You got to be really in the moment and kicking ass.
Yeah.
And the same thing when I'm up now and presenting. It's about just being absolutely present and kicking ass.
Yeah, totally. So you got the podcast. You're doing the NFL thing for Fox. When do you feel like you got comfortable with the whole media gig?
Shoot. I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
Just now?
Just a couple weeks ago right now as we're talking. Honestly, it took a while. It took a while. And I didn't have that the first 3 years. I was out. And it's just like football. Football, I got to the NFL, and I got there because I was good.
Sure.
Obviously. But when I took it from that good level to that great level, it took me around 3 years, and I think it took a little bit longer than that for me performing. I tried acting.
You did the Triple X movie?
Triple X movie.
What else did you try and dabble with before you were like, all right, media is my thing here?
It really was always for I guess being in front of the camera type stuff. I never really. I tried business while I was playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, screw this.
What did you try and do?
I had a company called All Pro Science, and it was like supplements. I'm into health and wellness,
absolutely.
and so it was kind of like in my ballpark.
But you just weren't. It just wasn't you.
I'm not a businessman.
Yeah.
I'm not going to an office and sitting down. No offense to people out there.
No, I mean you were walking around here like it's so quiet. Why is everybody so quiet? That's not your personality.
It's cage bird for me. It's like this isn't. I like to go out there and I want to just hang.
You want to engage with people.
I want to engage or have expression. I never thought of myself as an artist because I was an athlete, a jock.
Right. You've been defined by one label your entire life.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's good. And nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It's good you have these boxes that you're in, and then you keep checking those boxes as you keep leveling up and you keep getting better. And if you keep staying in the same place, you're going to get bored. And then you're going to start to look for other things for stimulation instead of what you do for a living.
Right.
And so I'm glad I was done with football. I'm glad I was able to go. I tried acting. I still am doing acting, but I got my ass kicked in that.
What was it like throwing yourself in that world? Like, what was most shocking to you?
Have you ever acted?
I've never acted. No, I mean, I did like middle school plays and stuff like that, but nothing to the extent of like a Vin Diesel movie like you've done.
Well. That was the one movie I got. Ask me how many movies I've done.
How many auditions did you do?
I have done. I think they kept track for me. My talent agency,
squad.
William Morris. It is I think 47 auditions.
Wow.
That I have gotten None.
We'll talk about failure and a lot of no's right there.
Oh, it's 47 auditions, 47 no's so far.
Wow.
And it's kind of like, okay, then you start asking those questions. Well, hell, should I even be doing this?
Right.
I got callbacks, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I never.
But you haven't pushed it across.
I haven't got pushed it across, and and then you're like, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to.
Right, maybe it's not my thing.
But then you take the positive from it. And I have been in auditions where you walk in, you're sitting in there and you're studying your lines and you're nervous, and at least I was. And you go in there and you present it, and they don't even look up sometimes. They're just like, yeah,
Right,
reading
they're
it
in
to
their
you.
own world. They've
And they're
heard it
like, all right,
100
thanks.
times.
Yeah, they're like, thanks, see you later. Or you go in there and you go to say the words and then you forget everything. And that is the worst feeling. Because there's there's 4 or 5 people in there looking at you. And I remember one time, I've told this story before, I get done with an audition and I get through it and I forgot every word. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, and is going to, we should save the guy because they're going to get away with the heist or whatever. It was like a bank robber movie. and the lady looks at me, I get done, and I'm like, oh my God, that was awful. Freaking horrible. And I even told her that. And she looks at me and she goes, yeah, that was horrible. That was horrible. And so you go through those type of things. Just like when I play football, like I went across, I've gotten my ass kicked.
Right.
Out there.
You've gotten drilled going across the middle.
And that's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of it. And so I think it makes you better as long as you keep going out there and keep facing those fears and keep looking for ways to get better.
Totally. And like you said, being outside of your comfort zone, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
No question. So when I look at your career, your life, like you did the football thing, you're obviously doing a ton now. Who have been your influences? Like when you were a kid, who were the people you looked up to? And how about now? Who are some of the people you look up to?
When I was a kid, my mother was a big role model in my life.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about her.
My mom is a rock.
Yeah.
She's from the south side of Chicago. And we kind of single parent for a while. My parents got divorced when I was really young. And then my mom got married when I was about 11, 12. So there was about 6, 7 years in between where it was just us. And we were, welfare, just me and my brother, living in quasi-project housing. And so I know how it feels to be like that. But my mother was the one that we never felt poor. We always felt like we had things, and we did. She just took care of things for what. And she wasn't that milk and cookies. Let's cuddle, and actually, she cuddled sometimes. A
little bit.
But she was tough. My mom's brutally honest, overly honest. She thinks she knows everything. And she's loud, and so you take that open heartedness of like, and I got 3 adopted brothers now. That's the type of woman she was. Her and my stepdad, when he came, like we invite people in.
You
so
embrace
she's
people.
Very open, but very like tough with you. And she doesn't like romantic comedies. She's like, she liked Triple X. She loved my movie.
That was her style of movie.
When I got that, she's like, oh great, that's my movie. I love Vin Diesel like that. She wants shoot him, hurt him type.
Right. She's not in for the soft lovey-dovey stuff.
No, she loved football. Still loves it today. Loves it more than me. Like,
it must have been such a thrill for her to watch you, and not only watch you, but watch you excel throughout the years. What were some of the best moments for your mom when she was watching you?
I don't know. She gets emotional about it sometimes, which she's not a non-emotional woman. So when it comes to that, So she's probably the Hall of Fame, which just happened.
That's huge. Yeah,
that was a big deal for and that was a big part about it. People are like, oh, I feel to go to the Hall of Fame, and I don't want to insult anybody, but I was like, it felt good. It felt good, but it doesn't define my career. No. It's like all that stuff came afterwards, and it's great. It's an unbelievable club to be a part of, but really what it means a lot to are the people around you. And that's another thing I've come to realize is that it's not about you. It's like when you can I wish I could have figured that out a lot quicker. And I did figure that out when I was younger.
So like how old were you when you figured that out?
I had it figured out up to through high school.
Okay. So that's younger than most are figuring it out.
But then I forgot. And then when I got to college, because it becomes more of a business now, and then it becomes, okay, well, I need to have stats and I need to do this. And then when you get to the pros, for sure, you're like, okay, I need this, this.
Yeah.
And when you can take that off yourself, I always say this is something interesting too. When I played, guys who would play well during the season, you would notice this when they fell in love, when they were getting married or whatever, when they had kids, or when somebody passed away. because it's no longer about them
Right.
in those situations. And you'd see them like play that week or whatever, those couple weeks or whatever it is, and they would take their games to a different level. Especially you see it when somebody passes away, like,
Sure.
oh, I'm dedicating this game to my father who passed away. He was my hero. They played lights out that night. And I think that's something I wish I could have done a little bit more while I was playing. But now I'm getting back to that, to where it's just, you take yourself out of the middle of things and you do it for the enjoyment of your family.
Right.
So that's getting back to the Hall of Fame. That was the coolest thing, is sitting up there as I'm on stage and looking to where they had all my section and seeing all my friends and family, especially the ones that have been there since the beginning.
Right, the whole journey.
Because that's what it's about. It's
Yeah.
about them. And so you have to take yourself out of it sometime and go, stop thinking about yourself. Like, it's about them right now. That's the cool part of anybody having great success. It's stupid. It's stupid. If you would make all this money and you have all these accolades, if you're not, helping the people around you or really
Or just enjoying it with other people, you know?
For them.
I'm sure you've seen a ton of guys, it's just a solo thing for them. They have all the money, the accolades, but they don't have other people around them. It's not the same deal.
You see it all the time. And in places of success, like
Yeah.
actors or entertainers or athletes, professional athletes, you see the selfishness that's in it. And don't get me wrong, you got to have a little bit of selfishness.
Sure.
You got to go out there and get yours.
Absolutely.
Because you know you can do it. And you work your ass off to get there. But at the same time, I think that's the reason the New England Patriots are so good. I know they sound like robots, but Tom Brady don't care. Belichick, I don't care if Tom throws for 400 yards, and neither does Tom. Like, it's about winning. It's about, let's go out there and enjoy ourselves and let's win this game together and do it for Boston, do it for our families, do it for our teammates, let's do it for each other. That's where it gets fun, and that's where I think you play at your best.
Totally. I mean, you mentioned Brady. Does it just blow your mind that he's still playing after that's a guy that you played against for so many years?
I know. I actually
How crazy is that?
I went to school with his sister.
Seriously? High school or college?
At Berkeley. At Berkeley. And she would talk about her brother, and she'd be like, yeah, my brother plays for Michigan. His name's Tom Brady. And I'm like, never heard of him.
Yeah,
never.
don't care.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a two-sport athlete. Have you heard about him?
And I'm all, does he start? He splits time. He's got no shot. He's not going to be good. And then, obviously, you see what happens. But I love Tom from that perspective. I've had a chance to get to know him a little bit, but he is what you see is what you get up there. And I feel the same thing about Belichick. Like, people are like, oh, we want more out of you, want more out of you. It's like, look, I don't care what just happened last week.
Right.
I don't care what happened to that player. I'm worried about this game we're playing. And some people don't like that. And
He's on a mission. He's got one goal, and he's just trying to accomplish that one goal.
Yeah. But then also in my line of work now, it's like I do have to care about that.
Right. I would like a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm sitting down with you, can you give me more than 5 words?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah. But that's the business we're in right now.
Absolutely.
Is we got to find stuff to talk about.
Totally. Going back to your career, who were some of the tougher defenders you had to go up against? Because that era of the NFL was like some of the hardest hitting guys. Ray Lewis. I mean, some of these crazy guys. Who pops to mind for you?
Rodney Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
Ham Chancellor was tough. He was a tough matchup. Steve Atwater, when I very first got in the league. And, it was a different league back then. You go over the middle, they could hit you. And obviously the NFL's changed rules, make it safer. But football was no joke back then. It's become a little bit more glamorous now. And I think that's why you see some of the guys having these attitudes now, where, like it's more entitled now. Because there's no fear there. There's not fear like it used to be.
Right.
I would challenge any of these young guys. A quarterback standing in the pocket now doesn't, all these rookies and backups are coming in having success now. And I'm like, that's because they don't have to get hit.
Right.
Right up underneath the chin strap.
It's called totally differently.
It's way different. It's a different game, but still just as exciting, safer. So I'm all for it. But yeah, it was. I wish I could have played.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Now.
I feel that. Yeah. I mean, you played like 16, 17 games every single year. How did you manage to be so consistent throughout your career?
I think a little bit of luck never hurts. I got hurt my 5th year playing against the Seattle Seahawks. Had an All-Pro year, contract year. I go up for a pass on a Hail Mary right before halftime. Last game of the year. We're not even going to the playoffs. And some guy comes down and lands on my knee, right? And if that would have happened at the first game of the season, I would have been out for the year. It would have been on IR. Luckily it wasn't that serious, but it was an injury that kept me out about 3 months. I was on crutches for a long time, and so I got lucky there. I think there's also an art to staying healthy too, like getting out of the way when you get hit, fall away from the hit.
Right.
Some guys are trying to run over everybody, and I think this is why Gronk got hurt a lot, is because he get that ball and he's trying to run over everybody. And I was like, you have to pick and choose your battles. If you got to get a first down, if it's the fourth quarter, then you go do all that stuff. Otherwise, you go be aggressive. You don't be a punk, but you can't be overly aggressive because you will get hurt in this league because it's such a long season and you're going against grown men. So I always prided myself on trying to be safe when you're out there. But then a part of that is being lucky. And then part of it is nutrition and stretching and keeping yourself in great shape.
How's your body holding up after football?
Great.
Yeah? Any ill effects from
am I coming off crazy?
No, you're coming down like you know what you're talking about. But so many of the guys you played with are struggling.
Yeah.
And it's a huge issue still.
It's a serious thing, with doing what we did for a living. And then let's just call it what it is. It's just like a boxer, whatever. Now your brain has been rattled a little bit, and I don't take anything away from the game. I would have done it again if I given the choice. But now you have to take care of yourself.
Right.
So you got to eat right. You got to exercise. You got to get good sleep. And so that's what I do now. My regimen is I do meditation twice a day. I'm constantly engaging in like reading and learning. I'm doing exercising, getting that blood flow. There's supplementation. You can take ayahuasca. You can take. There's herbs out there that you can take for your brain, neurocognitive enhancement type things to do. So I'm constantly researching on how to make my body better I'm kind of like a biohacker,
that's smart.
if you want to call it that.
How many concussions did you have?
Diagnosed,
really?
None.
Wow.
None. No, but I know that I've had my
got your bell rung.
The bell rung, that's what we call it.
Yeah.
The bell. There's 2 times that I know for sure that if it was now, they would have took me out of the game. They would have came over to here's your helmet.
What were the 2 times? Do you remember?
One time it was against the Raiders.
Okay.
And then another time I caught the ball and just landed on my head, not even hit, where you get up and the world goes black and then you see it like a movie and then it comes back. So but that happens. That happens. And so back then they're like, hey, how many fingers am I holding up? And you're like,
and then
2.
We're running you right
back in there. We need you. We'll get a first down. And I played.
Sure.
And I played well.
That was the culture.
And that was fine.
It's a lot different now.
Yeah, way different.
Yeah,
way
definitely.
different.
Are you reading anything good right now?
I try to read at least 2 books at a time, taking my time too. I got into speed reading for a while, and I was like, "This is."
You're
stupid.
not really digesting anything.
Nothing against people that speed read. I'm more of a take your time and underline it and really absorb the information. So, anyways, I'm reading a book by Richard. He's Oprah's book, The Universal Christ.
Okay.
Which is about Christ consciousness, not religion. Richard Rohr, which is a great book. And I'm reading Range by David Epstein.
Oh, my wife is reading that right now.
It's a great book. Anybody out there who's a parent, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter
this
who
is
you
a
are.
book you got to read.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And I got 4 kids, so it's helped me like through specialization. It's like Tiger Woods is not not the model. Okay? It's Roger Federer. It's me.
Yeah.
Like I skateboarded, surfed,
hoops,
rode hoops, volleyball, like everything, all the way up until I was in high school. And even then, I still did a lot of that stuff. So Range is a good one, and then last one is the Key to Stillness by Ryan Holiday. Or Stillness is the Key, or something like that. It's like Stoicism, which is a philosophy. So it's those type of books I like to read.
Because didn't you cross paths with Tiger Woods? You guys were both like athletes of the year in high school?
Yeah, we're both athletes of the year.
Do you remember young Tiger? Or did you ever meet him?
We got athlete of the year. I showed up to the ceremony. He didn't show up. I thought it was too big. And I remember at the time going, what a nerd.
You're like, who is this guy, right?
Name's Tiger.
Yeah, come on, man. Seriously?
He's a golfer going to Stanford. Okay. And I was going to Berkeley.
Right.
I'm like,
You're like, I got it down.
Screw him. Yeah.
Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you kept playing hoops?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah?
All the time. I would have played in the NBA. I would have been a hell of a player.
That would have been pretty fun to watch.
A lot of people out there will say, no, he's stupid.
I mean, listen, you went to the Sweet 16. Like, you had game. People forget that.
I could have played. I don't think I would have ever been an all-star or anything like that, but I would have been a guy who averaged 10, 12 points.
Give you good minutes out there.
10 rebounds, played good defense. I would have been that guy.
A lot of teams would have paid a lot of money for that. That's for sure.
10 points and 10 rebounds nowadays. These guys are getting $20 million a year to average 10 points. I'm like, jeez.
And guys are trying to kill themselves for NFL guaranteed contracts. It's It's really nuts.
There are guys in the NBA who are making just
hanging on the bench.
7 points, 5 rebounds. I saw some guy, I can't remember his name, and they signed him to like a $17 million a year deal.
It's insane. You look at the numbers and you're like, really, $84 million over 3 years? Like, crazy stuff.
To a guy.
Yeah,
which is good. Yeah, all power to him.
Definitely. So who can we expect on the podcast coming up?
I think Michael Strahan's is coming out this week. It was a good one. But we've had Jessica Alba, David Spade, Dr. Ian Smith, right? Scooter. My wife was on there. And I love it. Ryan Holiday, that's why I'm reading his book. And Ed Milet, the list goes on. And it's great because you sit down with these people that have done these incredible things. These movers and shakers is what I'm calling them. And I love sitting down with them because now I can extract. Okay, what are the lessons do you have? What was your standards like? What was it that made you who you are, and how were you able to achieve what you were able to achieve? And I want to know how you grew up, and then I pepper them with questions on everything from, okay, what time do you wake up? What do you eat? Yeah. What's your thought on this, raising kids, relationships, whatever it is, we're wide open. That's why I named it Wide Open.
That's cool.
Also a play on little
you as a tight end. What was it like interviewing your wife?
Honest, that was probably the easiest one. That was the first one I ever did.
It's a good one to start into, right?
Yeah, it was a good one because I knew her.
Right.
And she's a smart ass.
You didn't learn anything about her? You kind of knew it all already?
Kinda.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of years together. You'd hope you'd know it all at this point.
I know anybody who knows my wife, October Gonzalez, she's beautiful inside and out, but she doesn't hold back. She's got no filter.
So you've had a mother who's brutally honest and now a wife who's just going to lay it all out there.
There's a pattern there. I got 2 daughters coming too, and nothing has changed with them too. So.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you. I need the luck.
Tony, it's been a pleasure, man.
Thanks
so much. You can catch this guy on Fox tonight. Check out his podcast. For Tony, I'm DJ. See you next time here on The Sit Down.